things are not going as well as we had hoped for the 2022 gardening season. Well, as Chris is cutting the grass in what was supposed to be our new for 2022 garden, we are now July 3rd, and as you can see, not planted. Now, we did plant the beans on the trellises, but we don't have the wire on the trellises yet, and we do have sweet potatoes in the pot, so we have made a start, but we are way behind. Now, the advantage is in the greenhouse is a lot of things that are started for going in this garden. So today is the day. Let's see what we can achieve. Now, in all fairness, we did have very, very high hopes and high expectations of ourselves with this garden space. Now, it's not a complete loss because we are going to get some stuff planted in here and hopefully it will produce, and it's going to be fantastic for our fall crops. That's seeing it on the bright side. So I'm really hoping that we can at least get this turned over a little bit and some things planted today. But we have weeds to cut down, spots to till, manure to spread, and a whole lot more. And it's hot. So as some of you will remember, we did a little video talking about putting these manure piles out into the garden last winter. And of course it's still there as a pile, but nicely starting to break down. So we're in the process now of spreading this out on what is going to be tilled in. We have contemplated doing the no-till method, but without a whole lot of mulch, I don't think we're going to beat these weeds anyways. And we want to spread this manure in and get a little bit more organic matter in here. Not that the horses didn't potentially put enough of that before. So that's the next step now. Spread this out, and then we'll hope the tiller starts. Progress is being made. Now, we have kind of shrunk down the size of this garden because we realized now we were a little over ambitious with what we could actually get achieved. But so far, today has been going exceptionally well. So here we are in our new for 2022 garden space. Tilled up. I don't even think we've featured our trellises yet. Maybe we have. I can't remember if we've talked about them. But basically what we've done is in the three corners of this space, one down there, one there, and one here, which is not quite complete yet. We've made trellises for beans, tomatoes, that sort of thing, anything climbing. And then we have our space here ready to get some planting. So first thing on the agenda is finally planting those long keeper tomatoes that came from Little Homestead by the beach. Well, we are the end of another day, or almost the end of another day. But we do have some progress. We actually have something in the ground. So we got all the bullnose peppers and all the longkeeper tomatoes actually in and out of the greenhouse. But we were running a little bit short on mulch, which is only a temporary thing. So we decided to basically mow and use grass clippings. Now, I'll zoom in here in a minute, but you don't want to put the grass clippings thick right up against the plants, because as these dry, they will basically heat up. So as you can see right around that plant, that particular pepper, there's very little there, but in between and up to the paths I've made sure that there's quite a bit of mulch. Now this pathway right now is exposed. We will mulch that, and that's kind of the plan for the whole garden, which, as I zoom around, we still have a ton of planting space. And a ton of stuff to still get planted. Even though we are incredibly late. It is still July 3rd though. We got this all done in one day. Yeah. So that's not too bad for us. And as I say, even though it is tilled at the moment, the plan is, pending on the crop that's going in here, to use as much mulch as possible so that this will basically get covered up pretty quickly as we go. Very similar, or in a similar manner I should say, to these plants. So stay tuned for tomorrow. And of course, in typical homesteading fashion, it's not dark yet. So, change of plans. We're gonna keep going. So the boys are hard at work planting some field peas, hoping to have those for pea soup and also some livestock feed. And behind Chris there, you can see some freshly turned over ground. We planted our all red potatoes. So we now have 3 types of potatoes planted. Yay, only like 3 more to go, but good thing we have a whole lot of space to do it. As the day starts to draw to a close and it gets dark, I really hope my camera can pick up what we've managed to get achieved here. But this is the progress on what's new for 2022. The garden is coming along, not as big necessarily as we ambitiously thought we would get to, but it is still going to be producing. I'm going to take you over and we're going to see just what we got in so far. So we did get the long keeper tomatoes in and mulched. Our bullnose peppers in and mulched. We've got our all red potatoes. We have 2 rows here. And this is quite deceiving because the rows are actually quite long, even though it doesn't look like it in my camera. And we've got 2 rows of field peas and 3 rows of russet potatoes. But still plenty more space and plenty more that needs to be planted as I pan around here. But one big decision that we did make that is going to kind of change things up a little bit here. This center section, we've decided to do perennials. We're going to make an asparagus bed and plant some fruit. And Chris has already started planting here. We have 2 very sad pear trees. They were in little tiny pots and they dried out really, really bad. So we're kind of hoping they come back. But if not, we will transplant with something else or get some more pear trees next season. But Chris does have some of his elderberries planted, the black elderberry, which he was so excited to get cloned and get in here. So that's the start with some elderberry bushes. And then as I turn here, to look towards that chicken coop, right in line here, we're going to have a row of black currants. And then, like I said, over there is the asparagus patch going to be. And then we still have a ton of space that, as you can see right now, is overran with weeds, but is working well for tractoring rabbits. The mosquitoes are coming, oh my goodness. So it is time to get chores done and get inside. But hope you enjoyed a little look at how we've progressed with what's new in 22. I know we are exceptionally late for getting things planted, but hopefully we still get some produce out of this. Stay tuned to find out.